Chicken on the tracks. Why did the chicken cross the railroad tracks? He didn't, because that's a really bad idea. Don't do that. And no, this is not about an actual chicken on the tracks. It's about the game of chicken on the tracks, or at least partially. This is another railroad safety film, released in 1987 and produced by New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit are the transit rail authority for the state of New Jersey. They're for more regional service, unlike Amtrak, which is the big federal service. And that year they decided, you know, these dang kids don't know how horrific death can be. We should remind them about it. And to be fair, there are plenty of situations where these dang kids don't understand to stay off the friggin' railroad tracks.
You're so dumb, David.
And obviously this is targeted towards New Jersey Transit, but it can apply to pretty much any kind of railway when it comes to safety. Every piece of advice in this is legitimate. Stay off the tracks, don't touch railroad stuff, just don't touch it. How hard is that to do? Well, apparently very hard. And this film handles things in a very down-to-earth way. It's not horror-centric necessarily, like David's Run, with the whole dream sequences and scary diesel shots.
You're so dumb, David.
Now this one's much more real, but in a way it's still very horrifying, because, once again we're dealing with dead children. But the film starts out very upbeat. You see all the kids coming out of school. One of them's even got a big old classic 1980s boombox, and there's some synth beats playing in the background, just to remind you that it is 1987, in case that wasn't obvious. Despite no words being spoken, the intro also reveals that one of the kids is kind of a jerk, and I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like his stupid face, I don't like his stupid haircut, I don't like his rampant stupidity, but more on that in a second.
Yo, Neil, where are you going?
Shortcut, stupid. If you're not afraid of a few rocks.
Tony, Mommy says we're not supposed to go that way.
She won't know unless you tell her.
Naturally, of course, the shortcut leads them to a set of railway lines, and instead of just continuing onward and not hanging out, they decide to hang out on the railway lines. As one does. Go home. Go to a basketball court. Go play tennis. Go, I don't know, throw rocks at trees. Do anything but what you're doing.
Yeah, I smashed it!
Because these kids are jerks, particularly Neil, they decide to start throwing stuff at the train, and to successfully smash one of the windows and throw glass at the engineer's face, which I'm sure he deeply appreciated.
Are you okay?
I can make the next station stop, but you better notify the transit police department. Train 111 out.
That's right, Rudy. You walk off those dang rocks to your face like a real man. A real American man. I've tried to show these people what can happen when you get injured on the rail lines. And what do when that happens? You just walk it off. These idiots proceed to get into an argument over who actually smashed the window, because, I don't know, bragging rights, I guess. I hate these kids. But because Neil is a jerk, again, he thinks Tony is a bit of a wimp, and isn't man enough to hang out with these grown-up 5th graders.
The truth is, you're lying because she's your girlfriend, and Tony's lying because he's trying to be a big man. Yo, man, what's the big deal? Okay, you broke the window, and why don't you give it a rest? I'll give it a rest after I find out what kind of animal we got with us. Who are you, Tony? A mouse, a chicken, or a man?
I'm a mouse! Oh. That's not what I expected, but props for the honesty. Anyway, so Neil forces Tony to play chicken with another train passing, which is already an alarming thing to do. Never ever do this. And Tony, well, okay, they don't get hit by the train in this particular scene, but Tony falls and hurts himself, and the other kids just bail because the cops show up. Somehow the cops, don't find Tony, just laying there. Like, I guess they didn't do a good job of looking. And he wakes up later and starts walking home, somewhat injured, and bumps into a friend of his from school who's way nicer. Because her house is closer, she insists he come back with her to get cleaned up and to call his mom, and then her dad comes home, who just so happens to be an officer for the New Jersey Transit Police.
What do you think you're doing?
I didn't do it.
Now, why don't you tell me what it is you didn't do?
Nothing.
Let's start from scratch, son. I'm Mr. Giles, Rochelle's dad.
Rochelle's dad. Then why are you wearing a policeman's uniform?
Because I am a policeman for New Jersey Transit.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, babe.
Tony, I thought you knew my father worked for New Jersey Transit.
But I didn't know New Jersey Transit has its own police.
Have to. We've got nearly 400 miles of track to patrol.
400 miles? I didn't know New Jersey was that big.
We've got trains going to every part of the state. Hey, you know what? I think I've got something that you might like to see. Unless you want to hide behind chairs for the rest of the night. Come on.
Now, he doesn't grill Tony too hard, but he decides that maybe he could use some education on the railway system, so he shows him his layout, which is actually pretty impressive, and shows him how switches work and things like that, as well as explaining why you don't mess with those switches, because it can cause serious accidents.
Switch. And then when the train comes, it moves from one track to the other.
Is that the way it works on the real tracks?
Exactly. Look here, son. You see, when this light is red, it means the engineer can't pass.
Because another train's coming?
Yeah, or there's an obstruction on the track or some other problem.
Like what?
Like an accident.
Here, Tony. Take a look at this.
Wow, how did this happen?
Some kids in Fairlawn. A passenger train was coming by at about 50. They waited till the engineer passed the signal, and then they threw the switch. The train switched to a siding and ran right into a spaghetti factory. Killed the engineer.
Oh, I didn't know it actually killed people. I thought it was just the spaghetti. Well, there was a lot of spaghetti everywhere. So much sauce and pasta. Wasted. You know how New Jersey is. The Italians. They were furious. Rioted for days over the loss of their pasta. I can still hear them screaming in that blistering, angry Italian's language, calling for the death of everyone involved with flipping that switch. Because of the pasta, Tony. The pasta. Anyway, the officer's name is Larry, and he takes a liking to Tony and decides, along with his own daughter, to invite the kids on a cab ride on the railway that weekend. Coincidentally, it winds up being the same engineer who the kids had thrown rocks at earlier in the film. The film implies Tony knows this, but he decides not to say anything because, well, in his defense, he didn't throw any rocks. He actually didn't. That was one of the reasons he was being made fun of, so, you know. And props to the engineer. Bandaged head, but still shows up for work. The guy playing him, by the way, his real name is Rudy, and he was an actual engineer for New Jersey Transit. Good work, Rudy! A serious concussion is no excuse not to show up for work. Whenever I get my brain rattled, get my face banged in, I just walk it off. As they're traveling down the line, they start discussing the electric lines and the dangers involved with them. Since the trackage for New Jersey Transit is heavily electrified, it makes sense that they'd point that out.
What would happen if you touched one of the wires?
A couple of years ago, a man tried to hitch a ride on a train. He climbed on top of one of the cars. Well, it was an electric train. And when the man stood up, he got too close to the wires. We heard something and stopped the train. We found him alongside the track. dead. Big chunks of his skin were blown right out of his body.
Okay, I think we can stop now. And then, once I saw a dog. An adorable, cute, sweet dog. Wandered onto the line. Right in front of the train. Okay, I don't really want to hear about it. Never found it. After that, just blood. Reminds me of my time spent back in Nam. Okay, this has nothing to do with... You ever smell napalm in the morning sun? Smells like sulfur and fire. And burnt flesh. Wow, burnt flesh has a very particular odor to it. Kinda like rotten chicken. Okay, Larry, I think you could stop now. No! I can't stop. I can't stop the noises, Rudy. The visions. They're all I see every night. The helicopters, the explosions, the bullets flying, the screams of the children! Oh, the children! Anyway, as they're traveling down the line, we cut back to the other three idiots who are getting into another argument because Neil is, again, a jerk. I don't know what we expected. And because Tony isn't around to pick on, Neil focuses attention onto the Yankees fan over here. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure in certain parts of New Jersey you can get beat up for wearing that hat.
I might have been wrong about Tony. Maybe it's you who's the real chicken.
I'm not a chicken, Neil. Why don't you dare me?
You're pretty brave for a girl, Maria, so why do you hang with a wimp like Luis? I've had about enough of your mouth, Neil. I'm just telling the truth. Know what I mean? We'll see who's a wimp.
Yankees fan reacts in appropriate Yankees fan fashion by taking him being called a wussy boy very seriously and proceeding to force his girlfriend to play chicken with him on the tracks to prove how manly he is, which... Okay, yo, wait a minute. Okay, look. If you want to be stupid yourself, that's one thing. But leave her out of it, and she's struggling the whole time. This is some abuse allegations. I know they're supposed to be kids, but that is not cool. And what's even less cool is, of course, the train that's hurtling towards them is the train that Tony is on. And of course he yells for them to stop, but the engineer points out that they can't stop on a dime.
We're never gonna stop in time.
It's not funny anymore!
Funny before, when you were laughing at me.
But they do jump out of the way at the last second. However, they wind up landing on the adjacent track. And another train is coming. The film ends in a particularly dark fashion, as you see the local police carrying away multiple body bags. Small body bags. So yeah, that's dark. That's very dark. But it does bring the point home of not playing on the tracks. Even Bully Boy Neil is shocked by what he's just witnessed. And it's just, well, depressing and traumatic. I also like how they let the other two kids stand there and watch them take away the bodies, and presuming they watch them pick up the corpses that are presumably in pieces. Like, okay, listen. I think the other two kids can stand away from the scene. I don't think they have to see. I think they've seen enough for a lifetime when it comes to this. Those two ain't gonna play on the tracks anymore. Ever. Also, seriously, don't play on the tracks. You'll die. And overall, from a cinematography perspective, from a safety perspective, I mean, as stilted as the acting could be, since these are just kids and not professional actors, it wasn't bad, and it did drive the point home, as well as give genuinely good advice, mostly amounting to, don't touch anything on the tracks, don't walk on the tracks, don't go near the tracks. Dang it! Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.